Welcome to Sevier County High School, Hardin-Robertson Field, the host to two All-American Bowl games. The 8-man football game has already taken place here earlier, and now it's time for the 11-man All-American Bowl from Hardin-Robertson Field, originally set to be at Gatlinburg, but it's changed for social distancing protocols. And welcome you inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Spencer Thompson. Pleasure to have you with us, and we'll show you a real quick socially distanced press box today. You can see over there Jack Helwig and Zachary Loan over, as hopefully the first and only time that we have to do this in our lifetimes. Well, 11-man game, the final game for all these seniors and juniors to play in their high school careers. Of course, for the juniors, they've got one more season in them. And for the seniors, the Stars and Stripes collide. Coach Jim Stomps from Christchurch Academy leads the Stripes alongside his assistant coaches. And Nick Schuford from Thomas Hayward Academy leads with his coaching staff as well, and also assisted by Ty Colson, the head coach of the Anderson Cavaliers. And set to be a good game in 11-man football for one last game for the seniors as I bring in Zachary Loan. And an interesting portion of this, there are several 11-man players in this contest that are playing have played in the 8-man bowl and are additionally going to play in this 11-man game. You've got guys like Jet Lodge, Austin Gay from Ezekiel, and Nicarius Dowell from Southern Prep. So several guys who are going to be playing in this game that already have some reps earlier in the 8-man game, but the primary reason they're playing is because the teams they played for on the season, they've had 11-man games on their schedule, and they've excelled incredibly well in both.
Definitely. Like what we saw in the first game with Austin Gay being the quarterback. He's actually going to be a defensive back in this one. And also Jet Lodge is going to be a wide receiver in this game as well.
Yeah, Jet Lodge has been absolutely incredible for the Evangel Christian School Lightning. This is his last game of his high school career as a senior, and had to be a substitute quarterback when Eli Whitfield went out with an injury for several weeks. And Jet Lodge is just one of those athletes all around who, no matter what position you put him in, he's going to excel. And we're excited to see what's going to happen with the rest of this All-American game. And for the Stars, they've got several stars, several people from Georgia Forest Christian, Central Hinds Academy. They also have Neil McClure from the Pack Panthers, who was in that 8-man game earlier. That he likely will see him doing a few kicks and extra points, field goals. It's just another example of somebody who is playing in tonight's contest in both games.
Definitely. And then you also have Charles Party from the Pack Panthers that is playing in this game as well, and he's going to be as a defensive back as well. I know I'm missing someone else, but when I'm looking through the roster, I can't find him.
Yeah, Neil McClure, again, he was in the 8-man game, and at least looking at the rest of it, it's about 3 or 4 players who were in the 8-man All-American Bowl earlier and participating now in this 11-man game because of the stats they put up in both 8 and 11. And one of the other notation to look for is the Memphis Nighthawks, an independent organization that's been based out west in Tennessee. They have several players participating in today, at least on the list, about 3, and it just shows to how good a skill set they've had.
Definitely. And then what you're going to see in this game is 2 very different philosophies. From one team is going to be a aired out offense, basically empty backfield, and this is going to be a run and gun offense. But and then the other team, you're going to see a lot of runs, a lot of different ways to use the receivers through that run game. For instance, they'll put receivers in motion. They'll use QB options. Just different ways and very creative ways to get the rushing game going.
This is only the second. Is only one of a few 11-man football games we have done. This is the second 11-man game to be on 8-Man Extremes channel. A little bit abnormal outside of our usual comfort zone, but all the more happy to call it here from Sevierville, Tennessee. And while they handle the coin toss, we're going to get you a word from one of our sponsors.
To win a free getaway at Gatlinburg.com. It's As James Shannon gets him hyped into stadium, I'd like to give a special shout out to the captains of Team Stripes who unfortunately were injured and unable to participate in this afternoon's contest. Senior Will Farrell wearing number 5 from Bessemer. Of course, originally was with Evangel Christian School Lightning in previous seasons, transferred over to Bessemer. Additionally, with Bessemer, senior number 18, Jarvis Dancy, and number 35 from Russell Christian, the junior Barrett Harwell. All three of those players are honorary captains in this afternoon's contest. As far as I'm aware, no honorary captains or anybody injured for the Stars. Coach Stomps collides, and as is all of his assistant coaches from Christ Church Academy, and he collides with Nick Shuford, Ty Colson, and the assistant coaching staff of the Anderson Cavaliers and Thomas Hayward Academy. So the Stars will receive the first half kickoff. This is the same case as it's actually reversed from the last game. Stripes received and scored first. And it's time for us to start out here in this All-American game.
The other player I was looking for in the in the pregame was Aquarius Dowell, who's playing running back for the Stripes, and he's from Southern Prep.
Yep, Aquarius Dowdle, the Southern Prep Academy senior, played in that 8-man game earlier, and we are underway in this 11-man All-American Bowl as the return goes to about the 33-yard line, and that was a carry by Jatarius Pusha from Thomas Hayward Academy. And now time for us to see what the Stars will do for the first time on offense. Start out on their own 33-yard line, and they'll be under the offensive leadership, looks like, of Chad Norwood, the senior from Bethlehem. Looks like under partial leadership with Norwood in the backfield. He's got his quarterback in Ransom Oaks from Central Hinds Academy. And first play from scrimmage, it's a wideout toss to the right side, gets the better of his man, and what a reception! Down to the 30-yard line, Pusha with the reception and a big first down across midfield.
And the Stars are going to do this all game. As you saw there, Oaks steps back in the pocket and then just a go route there, and then waits on, and then does a great job of hauling in that catch. Pusha does a great job there, but look for more of that connection throughout the day.
And they'll run it up the middle as Norwood gets a carry up the middle for no gain on the play as they just get back to the line of scrimmage.
So actually, it's Jatarius Pusha from Thomas Hayward, the wide receiver there.
Yeah,
that
Pusha
made
with
that
the
catch.
great reception and that run and a fake toss left side, and the catch is made. Able to haul it in at the 15-yard line. This one is going to go to, it looks like Jordan Mickle from Thomas Hayward. It's either that or Zach Black.
And
Yeah, Zach Black. I see the 8 on his jersey now. Great catch.
It was Zach Black there, and he ran a slant route and does a great job of using his body to wall off the defender there and makes the catch.
Senior out of Thomas Hayward gets a reception to move the chains, and an attempt to rush as several defenders surround the Stars rusher in Chad Norwood as he takes a loss. This goes to a 2nd and 13.
The snap there was bobbled a little by Oaks, which really led to Norwood really not having a chance out of the backfield there. So that was a good, but that's a good job there of the penetration that the Stripes defensive line had there to force the loss on the play.
On the 2nd down, a scramble here from Oaks as Oaks gets to the outside, trying to get the first down marker, avoids a man, tries to get past, but his leg is wrapped up. gets the ball to about the 4-yard line and a 1st and goal here for the Stars.
And what happened there is Oaks steps up in the pocket, sees that there's no one available, so he scrambles out to the right side, and there was a big block there by I'm pretty sure then Malachi Tate on the outside, which allowed Oaks to get to the outside.
And a 1st and goal, and there's a handoff, a flag in the backfield. Let's carry up the middle to about the 5-yard line, and it's a holding call. The offense will have a repeat of first down, and they'll move it back. Correction, they have a repeat of, first down. So they move it back to the 15-yard line, so still 1st and goal. About 6 to 7 states represented in this All-American game. Majority of them in the Southeast region, but door, of course, open for anybody else from other states to come out and show off their skills. Now 1st and 15. As Oaks has got time, not as much as he did, and Oaks is going to be brought down in the backfield. Zach O'Connor from Christchurch Academy gets the sack.
O'Connor there does a good job as Oaks got to the outside again that time. He has a good job. Look right here. He breaks down and forces him back to the inside where where the pressure's coming from, and then he was able to bring him down for the sack. That was a very big sack by Zach O'Connor. As now it's going to be, they're from the 23-yard line.
2nd and goal long, and this is pitched to the left as Ronnie Porter tries to get through, and Porter gets about to the 11-yard line, and this will bring up a 3rd and goal from the 11.
Right there, that was just a pitch. See whatever they could get and try and get themselves in a position to where they can convert this third and goal, because from now they got a 12-yard gain there, putting them in a spot where they can basically open up the whole playbook, and they don't have to worry about only throwing a deep route.
Third and goal from the 11. Toss across the middle and tipped at the last second. Looked like it went through the hands of Rebrick. And so now on a 4th and goal, this early on in the game, you might send out the field goal unit, and it looks like they may do that.
I think actually that pass was going to be intended for Pouchet, but by the time Oaks threw that, they ran a slant route with both of them crossing at about the 1-yard line. So by the time Oaks threw it, Pouchet was undercut by the other route. But if Oaks throws it into space, he had the whole right side of the end zone for Pouchet.
McClure only had 1 field goal attempt in that 8-man game, and this one is perfect.
Field goal is good.
Redemption time for Neil McClure as he gets a field goal and a 3-0 score. The Stars strike first. About 10:34 left to go in the first quarter. And in the words of our camera operator here in Hellwig, the stars shine first here in Sevierville. As Jet Lodge, he was in the 8-man game earlier, gets to about the 39-yard line on that kickoff return. And we'll see what Lodge and this offense can do. As, you know, when you have guys like Jet Lodge and Austin Gay and Nicarius Dowdle, when you have players like that on your offensive side, not just from what the skills they've had in the 8-man scene, but when you bring that to an 11-man level, it just shows how evenly they could compete with the rest of the football landscape.
Well, definitely, and like we saw, Jet has a ability when he's in open space to make men miss, and so does Dowell. And Gay is going to be playing mainly safety this one, so he's not going to be on the offensive side of the ball. But maybe he can make a few plays.
We'll see what they can do. Here's a carry from Marcus Taylor, the senior from the Memphis Nighthawks. Gets a gain of 2 yards on the play. Not much room for the Memphis Nighthawk to run, but gets it to a 2nd and 8.
And that's what the Stripes really practiced yesterday was a handoffs off the middle, and then just ways to get creative about putting men in space on the outside.
And they've got 2 on either side as they try to spread things out with Lodge in motion. As they fake the handoff again, this will be carried directly by Chris Pittman. The senior out of Piedmont Academy is getting a little breakaway there. There is a flag.
This will be coming back 'cause, Dorian George, I think they got for the holding call. But that's what they do. It's gonna be a read option, and they're gonna use Jet or other wide receivers to get to the outside, and they're either gonna, and it gives the quarterback the option of keeping it and running it himself, or pulling him back and throwing it quick to the receiver that's outside, or potentially handing it back off up the middle.
And you were right on that, partner. It goes back to a 2nd and 9 as they bring it back from the spot of the foul.
And from what I saw yesterday at the practices, the Stripes really don't want to get themselves into long third and long situations, because it takes away that option of using that read option.
So now a 2nd and 9 as that defensive line is going to bring him down in the backfield. The initial contact on the sack there made by John Hewlett, and nothing doing for the Stripes.
So what they do is they empty the backfield there, and then the pressure right up the middle, as that was John Hewlett who really beat his man off the ball there. So he gets the initial pressure on the quarterback, and which leads to him being brought down for the sack.
Yeah, Chris Pittman in the backfield, he just had a lot of pressure to deal with that defensive line. And he now is alone in the shotgun on a 3rd and 20. As Pittman gets it over. The catch is made as it's stretched out to the 30-yard line. That's Grayson Crumley, the junior from Magnolia Heights.
And that's exactly why they don't want to get themselves into 3rd and long situations, because then you can have your cornerbacks place 5, 6, 7 yards off the ball there, to where they can come up and make the tackle, instead of a 3rd and short where they have to worry about the potential read option. When that read option is in play, they have to play up on the corner has to play up on the receivers to try and force them to the throw there. But since they were able to get back and played soft coverage, the only option was to go short.
And we'll have our first punt of the game. This is booted deep by David Britt, who's also the perfect kicker for the 8-man football game earlier for the Stripes. He's on the Stripes for both 8-man and 11-man games, and Punts it there as it goes all the way down to the 34-yard line, and we'll see what the Stars can do.
At the table just past the gate that you came in, get your merchandise to commemorate today's game in which we honor these great 11-man football players.
Stars are taking a decent amount of time to discuss their next move. They're only up by 3 right now.
And look for them to maybe take a shot here on this first down.
As they're looking, and immediately brought down in the backfield, Aaron Sellers is brought down. And Jacob Berry, the senior from Bessemer Academy, brings him down.
Right there, that was that's supposed to be a screen pass to the right side, but Clay Rebrick stayed down. So when the option to the right side for that screen pass wasn't there, quarterback looks back to his left, but because of the pressure there, he didn't have time to get it out to Rebrick, who was wide open. So that's why it's so crucial on those screen plays to make sure that you get the ball out quick.
See what Aaron Sellers can do on this next drive. If he's not under pressure, he airs it out to the right side, a little bit overthrown to his man in Pusha. Puchet, as goes incomplete.
Puchet was open there because Aaron Haas slipped when Puchet made his cut, but the ball was just a little bit too far from Sellers to where Puchet was unable to reel it in. But if you're the Stars, with the offense that you run, you're more comfortable. Of course, you want third and mediums and third and shorts, but you're more comfortable in third and long situations than the Stripes are.
So about a 3rd down and 19 for the Stars to overcome. As Sellers airs it out left side. Intercepted. The pass intended for Tate. And Austin Gay, the quarterback from Ezekiel Academy, gets the interception.
So what you're going to see is Gay right here is at the very left of your screen, and he realizes that streak route is coming, so he starts breaking on the ball, and he reads the quarterback's eyes, Red Sellers' eyes there, made a break on the ball, and does a great job of reeling in the interception. That's a big play for this for Stripes offense. The Stripes defense gives themselves good field position to maybe march down the field and get themselves a touchdown.
So now the Stripes take over after the interception, and a scramble here as down at the 49-yard line, a gain of about 8 yards for Pittman.
It looks like it's coming back because the line judge was talking to one of the Stripes offensive linemen there.
Official still conferring here on this. And they're going to call this, yep, it's a holding on the offense. So, yep, they bring it back.
So there's also going to be a personal foul penalty on the offense.
So they move it back. I guess one of them was during the play and one was after the play was over. So they enforce both. And they're going to move this all the way to the 15-yard line. It's a rough break for the Stripes. And Jet Lodge to the left side. He's got a man to block in front. He's brought down by Ronnie Porter. Jet Lodge tried to get a reasonable gain there, but I'll have to settle for getting to the 21-yard line.
And for them being in such a first and very long, that was a 6-yard gain, but it didn't feel like one because you look up and they have to get all the way to the Stars' 49-yard line to get a first down here. So really, like we were talking about, the Stripes really offense really thrives on being able to hold the ball, but being in these positions really puts them out of their comfort zone.
Second and long. It's a toss across the middle, a catch made in coverage, and that reception is credited to Dorian George from the Nighthawks, and they move it a little bit closer to where they originally had 1st and 10 with the interception, but still a 3rd and 15 to overcome.
Right there, that was a simple slant route. And the throw was over the middle, and the throw was actually put high, so only his receiver could make a play on the ball there. So that was a great throw by Pittman.
And a 3rd and 15 as this is tossed to the right. The catch is made by Crumbly, and Crumbly is immediately stopped by Zach Black at the 39. Actually, they'll credit him at the 41, so 4th and 10.
That's another situation where they were able to play off of the wide receivers and allow them to make the catch, and just came up and made the tackle. So if you're the Stripes next offensive possession, you can't get yourselves in these third and long situations.
So a 4th and 10. Stripes will just settle to punt it away as this punt return is called for a fair catch at the 28-yard line. Clay Rebrick calls it there, and see what the Stars can do. It's only 3-0 right now. The Stars had that field goal earlier from McClure on the 28-yard line.
On their YouTube channel, search for the number 8-man extreme with an E. Catch the broadcast of the game.
So now the Stars come back onto the field after that interception from Gay, but that shouldn't really shake the confidence of the offensive coordinators from the Stars sideline, as the throw had to be made there for on that streak route because of the 3rd and long situation. But now they're bringing in Kyle Mosley. So let's see what Mosley can do in this situation.
See if Mosley can make a difference, and the handoff is given to Pouchet, and a loss of 2 yards on the play.
Pouchet there was lined up behind the left end, left guard, left tackle. My bad, left tackle for the Stars, and then comes across and takes the handoff from Mosley for kind of a misdirection play to try and get the Stripes defense looking one way, and then have Pouchet come from the other way and see if he can gain anything big.
Not a heavy passing game, as there is a flag. That's an incomplete pass intended for Malachi Tate. And see what the penalty call is here.
It could potentially be holding on the defense here. Never mind.
And they get a penalty there on the offense and moved back. So it at least repeats 2nd down, but same situation the Stripes were in on their last drive where they got moved back, but moved back closer and closer to their own end zone.
But again, the Stars are going to be better off in these second and third and long situations than the Stripes are.
Here's a handoff up the middle, carry to the 20-yard line, and that carry by Chad Norwood, senior from Bethlehem.
Up to the 20-yard line. It'll bring up a Team Stars third down.
So 3rd and 17 here as the Stars faced that penalty earlier, looking to get further down the field as they face a 3rd down and 17. And toss across the middle and incomplete. That pass intended for Pouchet, and looks like the Stars coaching staff wanted a pass interference call, not getting it.
And right there, that's a perfectly thrown ball by Mosley, but that was a even better defensive play there by this. That was Andrew Partica, right?
Looked like it may have been. I didn't catch the number of the defender there.
But Andrew Partica put his hands right in between Pouchet's there, which forced that incompletion.
Stars will just punt it away after a 3rd and out as McClure boots it, and a fair catch called for at the 49-yard line by Austin Gay.
That'll bring up a Team Stripes first down.
With the Stars not being able to flip the field position battle, the Stripes really need to start getting their offense going. But after that holding in that personal foul penalty, they moved the ball really well. They ended up getting it all the way back to the 41-yard line. So they got 26 yards of offense that last drive, but because of that long penalty, they weren't able to they were put in a very bad spot.
Now the Stripes at midfield. And with motion, it's attempted carry through by the QB and just is brought down by that defensive line. Attempted sneak there by Will Treywick from Atauga Academy. He's unable to get something there.
And that isn't a horse collar penalty because he didn't grab the horse collar. He grabbed the jersey, and which pulled him down.
Second and 11. Toss across the middle and a catch made as Alquan Manning from Bessemer Academy gets the reception, and that will move the chains to move the down indicator for a yard short of the first down.
So right there, that was a great play call. So the one receiver ran out and then sat in that zone, and he came behind him on that little streak and was right over the middle with a perfectly thrown ball and a great catch to bring up the 3rd down, but put it in a manageable.
And looks like they will get the snap off before the end of the first quarter, and it's a loss of yards on the play. That was John Hewlett from Thomas Hayward, the senior, getting in the backfield, and that's going to take us to the end of the first quarter. Low-scoring game. The Stars lead the Stripes by 3 in this 2020 Gatlinburg All-American Bowl for 11-man football. Welcome to the start of the second quarter for this 2020 Gatlinburg All-American Bowl for 11-man football. As we start out with a pitch in the backfield, and this carry is by Partaika from Christ Church Academy, as it's
I think he's actually going to be stopped short
it's
there.
a turnover. Unless there's a signal there. Yep, it's a turnover on downs. See if I can get the back end of this, but it's a turnover. Yeah, we get the very edge of this where it was down, and I'm not sure why that's being called a turnover. At least from the
Because it was that was the fourth down, so it's a turnover on downs there.
okay.
So it was a that was a fourth and six play that they tried to toss action, and they weren't able. They only got 5 yards out of it.
Yeah, it looked at first like they were pointing the other way as if it was indicating a fumble, but turnover on downs, and the Stars with swapping sides of the field. They also swap possession of the ball to them in the offensive side. And on this first play, almost a trip up in the backfield, but still on his feet. Ronnie Porter, the senior from Heathwood Hall, gets a first down to the 45.
Ball is carried by number 38, Porter.
And Porter is like a lot like Spackman, as we saw in the first game. He's a physical back, so he was able to shake off that first one, then lower his shoulder, and got that extra 4 or 5 yards to move the chains.
Senior from Heathwood Hall on the carry there as they get to the 45-yard line. Stars currently with the lead only by 3 points are trying to march it down the field. Quick toss left side, and what a catch.
As they're going to roll that.
Waiting for a signal. Yep, they rule it a catch. That was a reception to Malachi Tate, and we'll look at it on our end. It looked close.
And they are going to rule it a catch. So this is an RPO option. So he pulls the ball out and throws it, and that's a one-handed catch there.
Yeah, that. I tell you, that was a decent camera angle on it. It's close. That's one of those close situations. But if he came up with it, that's an incredible one-handed catch, and they rule it so. Now a second down and 3. This one is spin around to the 34-yard line, and the first down achieved there by Ronnie Porter.
Again, Porter is one of those physical backs, so you got to take him down low. And in the first couple of tacklers hit him up high, and he was able to spin off of them and get those extra yards because of that.
New set of downs on the 34-yard line. Stars in Stripes territory. Scramble here under pressure. The toss off. The catch is made by Clay Rebrick and gets tripped up by Partaika as he gets the first down inside the red zone.
Right there, the cornerback got caught trying to jump the route. So you're going to see right here. Watch the cornerback. He keeps his eyes on the quarterback. So then he tries to cut him off there. But Rebrick does a good job of cutting back upfield for the open space, and Oaks was able to find him for the first down.
First and 10 from the 16 is a carry by Ransom Oaks, who just takes it up the middle to the 11. Just keeps the ball there and now brings up a second down and 4.
As I don't know if we could get a replay of that, Spencer, but that was a great as we're gonna see. But that was a great job of selling that.
Yeah, we didn't get it.
Yes, we did. That was a great.
You almost thought it was live action, and a touchdown for the Stars. A carry by Ronnie Porter.
Carried by number 38, Porter.
Well, I thought that was
That's a Team Stars touchdown.
I thought that was a replay. So what you're gonna see is he gets to the outside there and really nobody. He didn't get touched until he got into the end zone.
Practically untouched, and now the first touchdown of the game goes to the Stars and to the senior from Heathwood Hall, and we'll see Neil McClure attempt an extra point. Didn't attempt any extra points in the 8-man football game, with that being a shutout, and his first PAT is perfect. 10-0, the Stars lead over the Stripes with 11:41 remaining in the second quarter. Kickoff for the Stars, and muffed at about the 15, but picked back up by Jet Lodge. He cuts inside, voids 2 tackles. He's got some blockers. Can he get through? Down to the 40-yard line as Jet Lodge gets a decent return for about 35 yards.
That'll bring up a Team Stripes first down.
Make that 25 yards on the return as Jet Lodge puts his team in a good field position at the 40-yard line in their own territory. And a quick toss across the right side, incomplete, through the hands of Jordan Mickle.
And that was a little bit of a miscommunication there, as Lodge looks like he broke the wrong way on that route than he was expected to.
Second and 10. As this carry is by Partaika, and gain of 4 for a 3rd and 6.
And right now, really, they haven't thrown the ball as much as expected coming into this game, as they've only thrown the ball 4 times between Trowick and Pittman for a total of 28 yards. So they're 3 of 4 right now. 3 of 4 right now, but they have, between the 2 quarterbacks combined, they've been sacked for a total of negative 21 yards.
On a 3rd and 6, quick toss to Jet Lodge. He's got 2 men around him trying to push through. He's going to be stopped for a gain of a yard to the 45-yard line. It brings up a 4th and 5.
And there they were trying to get Lodge back into get him into space and see if he can make a couple men miss, but he wasn't able to because of the great defensive effort there. Because as we've seen so far, Lodge, as we saw in the 8-man, Lodge is really shifty and he's really hard to bring down in the open space.
Ten minutes remain in the first half. And now 4th and 5, the Stripes will punt it away. As this ball is picked up at the, this is knee down for a fair catch at the 20, I'll put it at the 27.
Correction, the 27-yard line. It'll bring up a Team Stars. First down.
10-0 right now. The Stars leading over the Stripes from Hardin-Robertson Field in Sevierville, Tennessee. Spencer Tomshead, Zachary Lone, alongside Jack Hellwig running camera, our statistician J.D. Young, and producer and PA announcer James Shannon bringing you the action here for this 2020 Gatlinburg All-American Bowl. Game was originally supposed to be at Rocky Top Sports World, just 20 minutes away. Decided to go with the Sevier County High School field for social distancing. And that one is tossed across the middle and almost a reception, incomplete, intended for Tate. And what was interesting about that is the ball bounced off of the ground, still able to toss it, and makes it now a 2nd down.
And since the ball was thrown backwards, that's considered lateral, so the ball can hit off the ground there. But that is a great job by Austin Gay of reading and recognizing that ball is still live and making the play and forcing the incomplete pass.
Second and 10, as this ball is carried past the 30-yard line up to the 32, and the carry by Nordwood brings up a 3rd and 5.
And that was just a little bit of a halfback delay. So he acted like he was going to go onto the flat like he did the previous play, but when he took his step to go out to the out of the flat, he turned the heads of the Stripes left side of the defensive line, which caused that hole to open up.
And this ball carried to the left side by, I believe, Tate. Yep, Tate gets the carry over to the 36-yard line and brings up a 4th and short.
Ball carried by number 12, Tate, down to the 36-yard line.
And the ball there was in his left hand. So that is why the ball is spotted at the 36-yard line. If it was in his right hand, he got the 1st down. But that was a good job of the Stripes defense, standing him up and forcing him sideways instead of forcing him to fall forward, letting him fall forward for an extra yard.
And they're going to go for it on a 4th and 1. Maybe trying a hard count here to get this defense to jump off. And it'll just be a timeout by the Stars. So 8:06 left to go in the 2nd quarter. The Stars are just going to think it over here. This is punted away back to about the 31-yard line, and it's called for a fair catch. So now we'll see how the stripes go on this one.
I just want to make sure I have enough juice to text my dad, see where he lives.
Nice way to pull the heartstrings.
See where he lives?
Yeah,
Is it good? Are you sure?
emotional appeal is a real thing.
Is it already charged?
Looks like they're getting a full dose of the music in stadium for the players, and got it through that whole fourth down. As now 1st and 10 is on the 25-yard line. A scramble here for Trent Corley as he gets to the outside, incompletion ruled. Looks like he tossed it before he stepped out of bounds. So now a 2nd down and 10.
He waited the last minute there to see if anybody would break open, but nobody did. So he recognized he had a receiver about 5 yards ahead. So he throws it away. So he threw it away.
There's a handoff. And Austin Gay tries to carry it up the middle, but brought down for a loss of 2.
Really, nothing has been open through the middle so far. The defensive line's done a great job of penetrating through the middle. So, Stripes need to figure out something going to the outside, because that's what they did to get their major play so far. They've been able to get stuff to the outside.
So now on a 3rd down and 12. Pass left side. The catch is made by Heiler from Atauga Academy. The junior gets up to the 32-yard line. So back to where they started out back to where they started out the drive, but the 4th and 10, they'll send the punt team out.
And again, the Stars defense has done a great job of limiting what the Stripes have been able to do on offense. They haven't had many first downs so far.
Haven't seen that many first downs here today. It's now 4th and 10 as the Stripes will just punt it away. And again, the Stars lead 10-0 right now as we're past the halfway point in the 2nd quarter. This ball is going to bounce all the way. They'll spot it at the 20-yard line. Special thanks to all 207 of you viewing into this 2020 Gatlinburg All-American Bowl for 11-man football. Just a reminder, halftime is coming up. We'll give you our thoughts and analysis on the first half and get to hear a word from sponsors of this Gatlinburg All-American Bowl. It's coming up at halftime.
Folks are really just mad. Folks
And now the Stripes haven't been able to really get anything going on offense. They've only had 28 passing yards. And for the Stars, had 70. And that's resulted in at least one bit. That's resulted in one touchdown it's only resulted in one touchdown, not through the passing, but through the rushing and the position that they've put their teammates in. As face a 1st and 10. This is tossed across the middle, and it's intercepted. Austin Gay with the interception, and make that pick number 2 on the day for the senior.
That's another great job of Gay reading the eyes of the quarterback here and coming up and making the play.
Team Stripes, 1st down.
As that one was just a little bit overthrown, But still, Gay was able to come across the field and recognize where the ball was going and makes the interception.
So with 5:49 left to go in the first half, the Stripes get an interception, and they'll start out this offensive drive on the 27-yard line. And a scramble here by Pittman, as Pittman gets the pass off and incomplete in the area of Barry, who had coverage.
Pass is incomplete. That'll bring up a team Stripes, second down.
And second down coming up here for the Stripes. 5:43 left to go in the first half. As the Stripes offense looks to capitalize on the interception by Austin Gay. As Pittman scrambles, there's a flag down. So he's brought down at about the 30-yard line.
Pittman brought down at the 30-yard line.
As the Stars brought the blitz there, I think this is going to come back for a holding on the left side of the line.
Just wait for the call here. As yep, they're gonna call this holding on the offense, but it'll be declined for a third down. So it looks like the Stars opted to just force it to a third down instead of giving another down to the Stripes. It's now third down and 13. Pittman is going to be brought down, and they finally call it for a sack. That will be credited to Alexander Threadgill from Bayou Academy, the senior, getting the sack.
Right there, Pittman just held on to the ball too long, which allowed the pressure to get home.
And they'll mark it for a loss of several yards on the play. So with this fourth down, and you know it's an all-star game. What do you have to lose? Looks like they're going to go for it here. Though I'm sure James would incredibly appreciate a field goal attempt from this far out here, but it's the question of how much of a range does their field goal kicker have, and we'll see how this fourth down goes. As Pittman is going to toss it across the middle and incomplete. There are several
pass
flags.
interference, and that's going to be a first down.
Pass is incomplete, intended for number 19.
Yeah, several flags flying from both sides on that. All they had to do was just make sure there's no completion. But so with that, it's a new set of downs, a new life for the Stripes as they still try to capitalize off of the Austin Gay interception. So actually not a timeout call by the Stripes. So not a first down because of the spot of the penalty. So instead of a fourth down and long, it's a fourth down and 1. But the Stripes take a timeout. They're going to think it over here in the All-American Bowl. So if there's 4:07 left to go, that is carried for a first down. And it'll be a first and goal on the 5.
That was a simple fullback dive, but the hole opened up by the offensive line was what was able to give them the 15-yard gain.
So first and goal here for the Stripes as the Stars take a timeout, and they're going to think it over as they just allowed a 4th down conversion. And again, at halftime, we'll give our thoughts and analysis of the first half and look at the stats and get you a word from the sponsors of this 2020 Gatlinburg All-American Bowl for 11-man football. It's all coming up on halftime report. 10-0 right now. The Stars have a 2-possession lead, and you wonder. There's plenty of time left for the Stripes to get something done here, but you wonder what the Stars are thinking about, because they could let a field goal get off here, make it a 1-possession game, and then just march it back down the field for a touchdown. But you wonder why the Stars call a timeout in this situation.
Maybe just to make sure to get his defense together, their bearings together from those back-to-back, so where they get to stop, there's a defensive pass interference, and then brings it to 4th and 1, and they get to fit the 10-yard gain on the fullback dive. Maybe just trying to settle down his defense and rally them together and try to make this goal-to-goal stop.
Can the Stars defense pull a goal line stand here? 4 plays to do it as a first and goal in this carry to the outside. It's going to be a touchdown for the Stripes, and that one is for Marcus Taylor, the senior from the Memphis Nighthawks.
Right there, the offensive line, as the defense all puts all their effort to try and stop the run up the middle, which left the outside lane for Marcus Taylor just to run into the end zone and really make this game another game.
So the Stripes will have David Britt attempt the point after. Of course, Britt was on the Stripes for the 8-man game and completely perfect, and it's going to remain that way. Now it's 10-7, a 3-point game here. The Stars lead over the Stripes with 3:42 left to go in the first half. .342 left to go in this first half as the ball is fallen on at the 39-yard line, and we'll see what the Stars try to do here in this next offensive drive. Stars taking a while to get set up here. They'll start on their own 39-yard line as they try to respond to the first score of the game for the Stripes. As it's handed off with a carry up the middle, spins out the first tackle but can't get past the second one is Ronnie Porter again. He's had a lot of carries here in the first half and advances it 3 yards for 2nd and 7.
That'll bring up a team stars, second down.
On the 2nd and 7, the toss to the right side. This one is almost picked off, or could have been a reception there as the Stars have an incompletion there.
And they try to take that shot there, which they haven't done so far. They've tried to methodically drive their way down the field. And the secondary from the Stripes has been really good so far this game. And they forced another incompletion there, and it brings up a 3rd and long.
So now a 3rd and 7 for the Stars trying to get across midfield as it's lobbed in the backfield. Carry by Porter again, and that will move the chains for a first down. They get it across midfield.
Marked out of bounds at the 48-yard line. That'll bring up a team stars, first down.
And the offensive line and the receiver there from on the bottom of your screen did a great job of blocking, setting up a lane for Porter to get to the outside and get those 7 yards he needed for the first.
As another carry to the right side. There's Porter again. Ronnie Porter gets down to the 21-yard line and just outside the red zone.
And that's another one of those halfback delayed handoffs. They delayed it for a second and then hands it off. And then when the whole defense is shifting to the right side to stop that run, or to stop him in the flat, he cuts back to the right, or to the other side, and runs it for a gain of about 30.
First attempt with a handoff again to Porter as he gets down to about the 12-yard line.
And if we can get a replay on that, Porter does a good job of getting to the getting to the outside and getting those another first down. As he makes the first man, hasn't really been able to bring him down so far. He's been able to use his stiff arm. He's been able to use his agility, his spin moves to get those 2nd and 3rd efforts to get those first downs and get those big plays.
About 1:30 left to go in the first half as the Stars have a lead but try to make it a 2-possession lead. As another carry by Porter pushes through to the 5-yard line, and this will bring up a 3rd and 3. Correction, a 3rd and 2 as they advance to the 4-yard line.
And I think that's actually going to be a 2nd down as Porter got the first down the previous play. And again, the rushing attack right now for the Stars has been really good. The offensive line has done a great job of getting the initial push and allowing Porter to get to the outside.
Under 60 seconds left to go in the second quarter. On a 2nd down, and Porter is tripped up by his own lineman. Looked like he collided there with one of his own players, and looks like it was Hewlett. And clock winding down to now a 3rd down and goal on the 8.
So right there, Porter when he tried to cut to the right, I'm pretty sure that was Cameron Blaylock of the Stripes pushed Hewlett into Porter, which caused Porter to fall.
Third down as Porter is stopped by the defense of the Stripes as a timeout is immediately called with 8.5 to go in the first half as the Stars are facing a 4th down. Now, they could get a first down here, but not sure how many timeouts they have left that they could extend the half any more than one play.
Right here, when it's a 4th and long, you have to go ahead and take the points and try and make it a 6-point game going into halftime. But these past few plays, the Stripes defense has really done a good job of forcing and penetrating their way through the middle and stopping Porter before he can get to the outside. Because when Porter has been able to get to the outside, he's been tough to bring down so far. As they're actually going to keep the offense on the field here.
8.5 ticks left for the first half as the Stars try to punch another score in. And it's a toss across the middle and swatted last second, and 4 seconds left on the game clock. And it is a turnover on downs, with that being 4th down, and likely the Stripes are just going to knee it down here.
Right now, that was not a great call by the Stars offensive coordinator there. There really wasn't any routes open. There was no receiver open, so Oaks really had to try and thread the needle there, as the Stripes secondary did a good job of forcing the incomplete pass. And then we'll probably have a knee or a safe run and then go to halftime.
That's likely what's going to happen here, as 1st and 10 on the 9-yard line. They're in formation to knee it down here, and they're going to do just that. End of the first half, the Stars lead 10-7 over the Stripes in this 2020 Gatlinburg All-American Bowl, and we'll go ahead and just head right into halftime for you. Spencer Thompson and Zachary Lone alongside Jack Helwig and J.D. Young, our statistician, and producer James Shannon upstairs here with us. And for the Stripes, for the Stars and Stripes, offense has not really been active for either team. A total of about 46 receiving yards for combined for the Stripes, and the Stars about around that same measurement. And it's been a low offensive game. The defense has really stood up for both teams, with several tackles for loss and tackles in total. So right now what this game has come down to, the only reason the Stars are up right now is because of that field goal they got earlier on.
Definitely. And with both of the defenses really stacked, it's going to be tough for these offenses to score. These are both well-rounded defenses, and the offenses are just as good. But their defense has really been able to come out so far and show everyone that, unlike the first game where we had 35 points in the first quarter, this is going to be a low-scoring game. This is going to be a tight game. As we've already been able to see, they're both very evenly matched from position by position.
And it's been evenly matched thus far. Is that trend going to continue going into the second half? We'll find out in about 8 and 3/4 minutes We'll be back for coverage of the second half in the 11-man Gatlinburg All-American Bowl of 2020.
Hey guys, where do you want to eat?
Obviously, a favorite place in Pigeon Forge.
Steak and Shake! Ah! Woo!
Woo!
Steak and Shake!
Woo! All right.
Made it, guys!
Thank you for choosing Steak and Shake. Go ahead whenever you're ready.
We want one of everything! Ah!
It'll take just a micro minute for that.
Steak and Shake is worth the wait. Ah, that was so good. Man, I'm stuffed. Wow. This is amazing.
Oh, I'm so full. I can't even eat another French fry.
Welcome to the start of the second half for the 2020 Gatlinburg All-American Bowl game for 11-man football. Spencer Thompson, Zachary Lone, Jack Helwig, statistician J.D. Young, and producer and PA announcer James Shannon bringing you the call here from Sevierville, Tennessee at Hardin-Robertson Field. Of course, these All-American Bowl games put on by the Rocky Top Sports World took over for it after the All-American game that happened earlier in January of 2020 and of 2019, of all the situation that happened with those, took it over, and it's been a much better experience ever since. And Jet Lodge is going to take the return here, tries to find an opening. He's at least got one. He's tripped up and collides with the star player, and he's going to be spotted down at the 45-yard line.
And Neil McClure actually, they were having a kicking contest between him and David Britt during halftime, and McClure came in and made the big tackle to stop him, as McClure actually hit a 45-yard field goal in the contest.
Well, I'm sure the Stars are happy that they have a 3-point lead right now with him winning the field goal contest and being on their side of the ball in afternoon, early evening's game. As this carry is by Treywick. So he tries to carry it. It'll be down to the 49-yard line. And there's a holding call on the offense, so they'll bring this back. So that brings it back for bring it back from the from the original down marker, and that makes it a 1st and 20. On the 1st and 20, toss right side, incomplete. Looked like it was in the area of Lodge, likely just a miscommunication on the routes.
It looked like it was intended for Lodge, but Trawick threw it a little bit too high to where Lodge wasn't able to make a play on it. So I don't know if that was a miscommunication or just a overthrow.
Second and 20. And finally brought down in the backfield, looked for something, but brought down by the Stars defense. Nowhere for Treywick to go.
And Treywick there, he stepped up in the pocket, and then the whole pocket collapsed on him, so he wasn't able to get back to the outside of the pocket. So that was a good job of once he stepped up, that the defensive ends for the Stars made sure that he wasn't going to get back to the outsides.
Stripes are down by 3 right now, at least trying to get in field goal range. They got a long way to go for that, as it's a toss across to Jet Lodge and broken up last second. But even if it had been broken up, I don't know if even Jet Lodge would have enough stretch to make the catch there, as it's ruled incomplete.
That was a miscommunication there from the Stars secondary, but Treywick had his eyes to the other side of the field, and when he looked up and saw that Lodge was wide open, it was too late.
On a 4th and long, we'll just see the Stripes special teams come out to punt it away. Now, it's not all that common to see in football, but you see it at least here for the punts. The Stars like to have 2 men back receive the punt. And receive back at the 39-yard line, and no seconds taken off the clock at all for that.
And it's going to be interesting to see how the Stars come out in the second half after they were stopped inside the Stripes 10-yard line on the last plays of the first half. But they moved the ball really well up until that point, but then their drive just stalled.
Stars on their own 39-yard line start off this offensive drive with an attempted pass. Several flags are down, and no pass managed to get off.
That's going to be a face mask, as when the blitzer went by Sellers, he grabbed the face mask.
Yep, absolutely right. Face mask on the defense. And they'll move it forward on that.
Ball will be spotted at the 37-yard line. Will bring up a Team Stars first down.
So since it was unintentional, it is not a 15-yard penalty, but instead the 5-yard penalty from the spot where the face mask was pulled.
So we'll just have it as a first down and 12 in that case. With under 13 minutes left in the third. Scramble here as the defensive line does not allow any more than a few yards there for Sellers, senior from the Anderson Cavaliers. It's back up to the line, back up about a yard or 2 gain there, and a 2nd and 11 coming up. And now on a 2nd down and 11. Toss to the left side, and it's almost the 3rd interception there for Austin Gay. Just couldn't secure the ball.
Austin Gay's really been all over the field this game, as he almost had his 3rd interception.
Could have had a pick 6 there, too. Looked like he had the space. So a 3rd and 11 coming up for the Stars as they get a lucky break there.
As this secondary for the Stripes has been up to the a challenge so far of covering the receivers for the Stars.
As this is loose in the backfield, the pitch intended for Norwood. He secures it, but a big loss on the play down to the 22-yard line. And this will just bring up a 4th down, and I'm sure the Stars will send out the punt team.
As Norwood, it looks like he didn't realize that the ball was a pitch instead of a pass, because he's turned and took a few steps and didn't realize that the play hadn't been blown dead, and turned and was able to get back on the ball. So they didn't lose it because of that, but it still could have been a very bad outcome.
Two men back to receive for the Stripes. As this is booted back by McClure. And Austin Gay will just call for the fair catch, and we'll see it with 11:01 left to go in this 3rd quarter. See what the Stripes can do.
As except for that one drive, the Stripes haven't been able to move the ball at all. They haven't really figured out this Stars defense so far. So maybe look for them to take a shot towards Jet Lodge. Or maybe even Crumbly.
Start out on the 42-yard line in their own territory. The Stripes down by 3, trying to at least get into field goal range to tie this up as Austin Gay goes to the right side, spins out a tackle. How about another one spun out and finally gets forced out at the 46-yard line as the Stripes get across midfield.
And like we saw all the first game in Florida, Gay is really hard to bring down. As he stiff arms that first one, stays up, and then there goes another stiff arm, and it took 4 of the Stars defenders to bring him down. And the sideline for the Stripes was looking for a late hit, but he didn't.
Now on the 46-yard line in Stars territory. As this is an attempted rush up the middle. It's a carry from Marcus Taylor, and it's a loss of several yards on the play.
All game, the Stripes haven't got anything going through the middle of the field. All their big plays have come from either that jet sweep or throwing it out into the flat and trusting the players to make a man or two miss.
Now it's 2nd down and 13. And, yeah,
it's going to be an encroachment penalty.
Yep. As we learned this season, there is no offsides in high school football. It is only encroachment. And they'll move this forward 5 yards. A little bit of a break for the Stripes.
And that really negated that 4-yard loss, the 3-yard loss that they tried to go right up the middle with.
And on a 2nd and 7, this one taken by Austin Gay, received the pitch as Gay is going to be brought down in the backfield by Hewlett.
Right there, Austin Gay, instead of going to the left side where he had all of his blockers going, he went back and went across the field back to the right side where the blocks weren't set up, which actually caused him to lose those 5 yards there. Gay tried to make something big out of something that he could have got another 5-6 easy yards, but instead went for the big play, and it ended up costing him 5 yards.
So now a 3rd down and 12. As a toss to the left side is intercepted. Looked like the receiver in the target was Dorian George, and the interception successful by Chad Norwood.
And the pressure was in the face there. As you're going to see, he comes right up the middle. And he gets hit right as he throws, as Corley wasn't able to step into that. As it looks like it was maybe Lucas Cateau. I think that was Lamarius Howes that got into the face of Corley there and knocked him and hit him as he got rid of the football, which forced the interception.
So as the Stripes were trying to march back down the field. Still down by 3 with this ball at a midfield. There's a rush to the left by Tate as it looks like a flag is down there.
It's going to be holding again.
And yep, that's going to go back 10 yards.
Ball will be spotted at the 38-yard line. Will be a Team Stars first down.
So now a 1st and 20. As the Stars get a quick toss to the right side, the catch is made by Zach Black. Tries to get through, but about surrounded by 4 white jerseys.
And that was actually the first time that they've targeted Zach Black, and they did with the wide receiver screen there. But it was sniffed out very well by the Stripes defense, which forced the big loss.
So this ball back to the 34-yard line. So now it's 2nd and 25. 2nd and a quarter of the field, in the words of James Shannon. As it's even more yards for the Stars to try and get back as that big defensive play made by Jacob Oliver and company.
As it looked like they tried to set up another wide receiver screen, but this time to the opposite side of the field towards Pouchet. But the pressure got to Mosley before he was able to get rid of the ball, and brings up a 3rd and about a third of the field.
3rd and 20 plus is what we'll call it. With about 7 minutes winding down as the Stars can't get past the Stripes defense, but can they here? It's a spun out tackle. That's why they've given the ball to Ronnie Porter so many times as he gets back up to the 40-yard line. Not enough for the first down, but they could trust him to get a ton of yardage in one carry.
And he's tough to bring down. He breaks free from the first couple of tacklers every time. It usually takes about 3 to 4 defenders to bring him down. And that puts him over 100 yards for the game.
So about a 4th down and 20. We'll just see the Stars punt it away here again. As this is going to luckily bounce all the way to the 21-yard line. And we'll see how the Stripes can see if the Stripes can get it marched down the field here. Not much success for them when they're in their own territory. Only resulted in 1 touchdown when I believe that drive started out in Stars' 39-yard line after one of Austin Gay's interceptions.
The Stripes have only had 40 total yards of offense up to this point.
I can believe it with how low the score is.
This Stars defense has really gotten back to the quarterbacks.
As they try to get the quarterback here, and unsuccessful as the catch is made by Hillier, the junior from Otaga Academy, and gets it over to the 44-yard line, and a big first down gain for the Stripes.
And again, the Stars got to him, but he stepped up in the pocket and found the open man. A great throw by Corley, and the ball was actually fumbled at the end there, but a great heads-up play from Grayson Crumbly to fall on it.
So a new set of downs close to midfield. As the Stripes try to take it down, and a rush is brought down in the backfield as the tackle, the tackle for loss was made by Alexander Threadgill, and it's a loss of 2.
Again, they tried that handoff going right up the middle, and the Stars have done a great job of penetrating up the middle and not allowing those draw plays to get any yards.
And this rush goes over to the left side, a pass and reception yards as Hillier gets the reception. Not enough for the first down, just 2 yards shy.
Right there, Hillier went into the soft zone of the defense and soft spot, and he sat down and he waited for the throw, and the throw was perfectly on target.
Third and 2 for the Stripes as the snap is muffed in the backfield, and disaster for the Stripes as Pittman secures the ball, but it's going to bring up a 4th down and 7.
And right when they start to get something going again on the offensive end, a low snap wasn't able to be handled very well, ends up as a loss of 5. So they're going to have to punt the ball again away. As this is his 6th punt of the game.
6 total punts for the Stripes and only 1 touchdown in this game for the Stripes as 3:33 in the third remain. We'll see if the Stars can get anything going on this drive. Stars led by Coach Nick Shuford, as the offensive coordinators, head coach of Thomas Hayward. He's joined on the defensive side by the head coach of the Anderson Cavaliers and Ty Colson, and the Stripes with Jim Stooms, the head coach for Christ Church Academy, assistant coach with a bunch of other, assisted by all the rest of the coaches from Christ Church Academy.
And ever since the first few drives, the Stars haven't been able to move the ball much on the Stripes.
And the music's still playing as this rush to the left side is brought down for a loss of 6.
As that read option play, was decided to hand it off to Norwood, and Norwood really didn't have anywhere to go. As soon as the ball was handed off to him, there was 3 Stripes players in the area. So that play really had no chance at all.
They actually counted for a loss of 4 for a 2nd and 14 as the Stars try to get it going down the field, but 2:45 remains. As deep toss to the right side is incomplete, just past the hands of Tate.
So if we can see on that replay, they did the fake screen, and right there, it made, if I can get his number correct, it made Aaron Hawes right here. So Hawes bites on that wide receiver screen to try and take that away, and that left J.R. Patterson wide open, but the throw was a little bit too far from Oaks, for him to run under it and make the play. That could come back to bite the Stars towards the end of the game.
This one handed off left side. Here goes Porter. Porter diving towards the first down indicator and gets about probably a yard or two short. Looks like they'll spot him 2 yards short, so this will bring up a 4th down and 2.
And Porter tried at the very end to extend the ball and get that first down, but he was knocked out of bounds a yard before he was able to. Good job by the Stripes of making sure Porter wasn't able to stretch the ball out enough to get that first down.
And with a 4th and 1, the Stars will opt to just punt it away. And this will be a fair catch at the 28-yard line.
And that was the 5th punt for the Stars.
Total of about 11 punts in the game thus far.
In our first game, we saw an offensive shootout from one side. But now in this game, we're seeing both defenses really come to play and forcing the offenses into mistakes and big losses.
Defense has been showing up on both sides. And a lot less one-sided game than the first 8-man contest of today, as that pass is incomplete. Looks like it was intended for Crumbly.
And that was just a broken play all around. Treywick wasn't able to handle the snap correctly, so he rolled out to his right and just threw it at the back of Grayson Crumbly to go ahead and make sure that he wouldn't end up losing any big yards.
Second and 10. And movement is going to be an encroachment on the defense.
Flag on the play, ball will be spotted at the 33-yard line. It'll bring up a team Stripes, 2nd down.
As both quarterbacks as all quarterbacks have done a great job of the hard counting, drawing encroachments for
As this is pitched to the left to Austin Gay, he's got an opening to get the first down. He's going to get a little bit more as he collides and gets to about the 45-yard line.
And that's going to be a
several
15-yard
flags.
penalty at the end of the play, as that was a huge hit from Jatarius Pouchet, but then Pouchet at the end stood over him. What a huge hit from Pouchet. And then now watch as he walks over and stands right over him.
Yep, I call that every time.
I would have done the same thing.
Ball will be spotted at the 40-yard line. It'll be a team Stripes, 1st down.
And of course he throws a touchdown to Dawson.
So with that penalty at the end and the gain by Austin Gay, it's to the 40-yard line in Stars territory. And scramble here by Treywick, gets the pass off intended for Lodge, and that's incomplete.
And that one was just really a throwaway, as Treywick got to the outside and Lodge wasn't able to get open. So he just threw it in the area of Lodge. Another great job of pursuing Treywick there by the Stars defensive line. Again, forcing the Stripes quarterbacks to get outside the pocket and throw on the run. As Treywick is now 2 of 7 on the day for 14 yards.
2nd and 10 after the incompletion. And this is pitched. Jet Lodge trying to weave through this defense. He gets down and the ball loose. And this will be ruled at the 27-yard line, still in possession of the Stripes as they get a first down.
And right there, they put Lodge in motion. That they did that little touch pass to him, and Lodge was able to get to the outside. And right when he was right when he got hit, the defender did a good job of putting his helmet on the football and ended up knocking it away. But another great job from, as they're gonna probably have to call a timeout because the Stripes had one, two,
They
only
had
had
too many.
9 players.
Yep.
On the field.
Yep, so they call a timeout there. So with about 1:01 left to go in the third, it's a 10-7 score. The Stars leading over the Stripes as the Stripes try to possibly tie it up or take the lead. And a rush to the left side. Gain of about 6.
And that was a good job there of Aaron Pearson and Jaden Kaiser of opening up that gap. And then Jarvis Dancy comes down and makes that block, but he wasn't able to bounce it outside to get to the open field.
And brought down in the backfield. Several Stars surround the quarterback in Taylor. And it looks like that play is going to bring us to the end of the third quarter. 10-7 the score right now. The Stars lead over the Stripes by a field goal. We'll be back in a few moments after a word from our sponsors. "15 minutes remain in the 2020 11-man Gatlinburg All-American Bowl. Spencer Topsett, Zachary Lone, Jack Helwig, statistician J.D. Young, and producer and PA announcer James Shannon bringing you the action here from Sevierville, Tennessee at Hardin-Robertson Field. As the Stripes are down by 3, toss to the right side, and the catch is made. A reception by Setzer, the senior from Christ Church Academy. Moves the chains for a first down.
That was a great job because Chandler Cavaretto of the Stars had a read on the play, but the ball was perfectly placed over Cavaretto's head, and which allowed the first down to happen.
As they'll have another carry up the middle of this rush attempt by Corley. And Corley just unable to get past that defensive line. And this 2nd and 8. The 2nd and 8 coming up on the 15-yard line, as the Stripes would rather take a touchdown lead here than tie it up. Lobbed in the backfield, or pitch as carry there by Andrew, the senior of Christchurch Academy. And Partika with the gain of a few yards there for a 3rd down and 6.
Right there, Partika tried to get to the edge, but instead of trying to cut back upfield, he had the blockers there, but he tried to get to the outside, which wasn't there. The Stars did a great job of cutting off that outside, but if he cut back inside, he could have possibly had a touchdown the way the blockers set up downfield.
Third and 6. The scramble and looking for the end zone with the catch. He made the reception but did not have his feet in bounds.
And now, if you're the Stripes, do you go for the field goal? It looks like they are bringing out their field goal unit, which now makes the first half decision by the Stars a really big one. Instead of kicking the field goal, they decided to go. They decided to go for it on 4th and 8, with 8 seconds to go in the first half, and that really played into this decision.
So this field goal would tie it up. As Crumbly holds it. And the Stars getting their fan bases to cheer as this field goal is up, and it's through the uprights.
Right down the middle.
And now an even score at 10 each with 13:58 remaining in the game. It's a tie game here. $13.58 remain here in this Gatlinburg All-American Bowl for 11-man football. As this kickoff bounces and is going to go all the way, picked up at the 11-yard line. And the turn is being attempted by Tate, as Tate is weaving out several tackles. Tate finally brought down from behind at about the 32-yard line.
What a great job there. There was nothing of it there. He had to break 2-3 tackles and then broke out and actually looked like he was gone, but a great defensive effort, second effort there to come from behind and make the play. Tate could have let that one go, but he decided let it go and bounce out of bounds. But he decided to go ahead and pick it up and see what he could get himself, and he got it all the way out to the 34.
So now 1st and 10 on the 34-yard line. We'll see how the Stars respond to that successful field goal. So the Stars hand it off up the middle, and the ball goes to about the 37-yard line for a gain of 3.
But it's the Stars one. No, or Porter, because Porter has over 100 yards. As Porter really has done a great job so far, as he's over 100 yards, but they have held Norwood to negative 15 yards on the ground.
As this is handed off to the right side, a carry by Porter, and big first down as he gets across midfield to the 42.
And again, another big play by Porter. These Stars right now, all their big plays are coming from Porter. Porter making a man miss, or giving Porter to the outside and having him break 2-3 tackles. Really, his second and third effort so far this game has been what's been carrying this Stars offense.
First and 10 in Stripes territory. This is a handed off. Carry to the left. He's got an opening. Can he weave through? Porter weaved through! And Porter is to the end zone for a touchdown.
And then you're gonna watch on this replay. They bring the blitz off the left side of the right side of the offensive line, and Porter splits those two defenders there, and then cuts back, making Grayson Crumbly miss. And then Alquan Manning caught up to him at the end, but the tackle. He tackled him into the end zone, and that was a great job of holding onto the ball by Porter.
Now the Stars have not been down in this game at all. They were tied up just a few moments ago and now leading 17-10. 12:45 left to go in this All-American Bowl game. The Stars lead by 7. .12:45 left to go in the game as the Stars take a 7-point lead. See if the Stripes can respond and take it back down the length of the field. haven't been successful too much in doing that. See if they can pull it off here in this all-star format game. As this is booted, and the kickoff return will be attempted by Hillier, the junior from Atauga Academy. He's got some space and gets to the 39-yard line.
Going back to the last drive, the Stars offense, a lot of the Stars offense this game came from Porter itself. As right there, Porter has really carried this offense as he is almost at 200 yards for the game on the ground.
Definitely in the running for offensive MVP for this bowl game. Those will be named after the game on the field and, of course, posted on our social media. We have an offensive, defensive, and overall MVP. As this is a rush to the right, Hillier takes it again. It's down to the 39-yard line, so right back to the line of scrimmage for no gain.
As there is going to be an injury on the play here.
Right now we have a player for the Stars down. Looks like it might be Cothran. And we will step aside for an injury timeout. So it looks like Thomas Cothran was the injured star, and he's being looked at by the training staff on the bench. So second down and 10 on the 39-yard line for the Stripes. As a handoff up the middle, carry from that's from 22. Trips me up on pronouncing his name again, but it's Partika with the carry. Need to have one of those phonetic spelling cards in front of me for the future. 11:25, winding down.
And now here comes up a big third down. It's gonna be interesting to see how the Stripes go at this third down. Will they go ahead and air it out, or will they try something with Jet Lodge to the outsides? Really, those both have been working.
Hand it off, carry up the middle. Back to a yard past the line of scrimmage. So for a 4th down and 6. We'll see what the Stripes do here. I mean, still plenty of time left for them to go, but you wonder if they're feeling risky at all to try and go for it.
That's a curious play call right there. They really haven't got anything up the middle to go their way all game. So on 3rd and 8, they decided to go ahead and try again the same play they ran the previous 2 plays, and they only got a total of 1 yard up to that point.
So the Stripes opting to likely punt it away here on a 4th and 6. And they will. This goes with a fair catch at the 26-yard line. You guys didn't see it in the camera angle. They had a golf cart going through the end zone during the play. At least it was at the edge there. But now a 1st and 10 for the Stars as they try to just wind down the clock, possibly increase their lead by another score. And 9:49 left to run out on the clock to win this All-American game.
And look for another heavy dose of Porter on this drive, as he has scored both of their touchdowns so far.
And they do take Thomas Cothran in the golf cart, so they're taking him to, they have a medical tent on the other side of the field. It's now a 1st and 10. With motion, the Stars hand it off. Cut to the middle and a carry for about 3 yards. That one carried by Rebrick.
As Rebick did a good job there of cutting back towards the middle because of the pursuit to the edges there from the Stripes. The only place he had to go was the middle. So getting a 2-yard gain there really was the best case scenario.
Gain of 2 yards there for a 2nd and 8. As this is handed off, carried to the left side, and back to the 25-yard line. Nowhere for Rebrick to go. Correction, actually, it was Norwood on the carry there. And loss of a few yards for a 3rd and 11.
Norwood really hasn't been able to get going today, but that is really in part to how good the edges have been. The edge rushers have been for the Stripes today.
On a 3rd and 11. Scramble here. Still has time to get the pass off and swatted last second. There was a scramble for Oaks and swatted last second by that Stripes defense.
And Oaks there did a good job of making something almost out of nothing. As he's rolled to his right, the pursuit really wasn't able to catch up to him because of his speed. So when Oaks threw it on the run, it was a little bit behind the receiver and a little bit late, which was why the defender there, which was Grayson Crumley, was able to get back into the play.
Now this punted away by the Stars, and we'll see if the Stripes can take it back down as it bounces backwards out at about the, we'll spot this at the 46-yard line. And see if the Stripes can take advantage of this good field positioning as they only down by 7.
as that was the 7th punt on the day that the Stars have had, and it's David Britt, of course. Not Stripes. Correction, my bad. That is the 6th punt for the Stars for 200 yards, as Neil McClure has done a tremendous job in the kicking game today.
Punters have done their job as this is tossed deep to the right side, intended for Lodge, and it's an interception. Picked off by Zach Black.
And Lodge there had a step on his defender as Zach Black. What a catch.
Wow.
He comes up and he intercepts that with one hand. If we can see that just one more time.
The senior from Thomas Hayward Academy has shown up in this All-American game.
As Lodge there was double covered, but still a great play by Black coming down with it.
So the Stars get the ball back on the 19-yard line as they fake the handoff to the left, and it's Porter to the right. He's got a potential opening, and Porter is going to be forced out of bounds. They'll stop him at the 43-yard line.
And I think that might have actually put Porter over 200 yards on the day. Porter has really been the workhorse today, as he has done a great job out of the backfield.
Stars end up winning here. He's definitely going to get one of the MVP awards. Anytime he's at the ball, essentially getting in between 5 to 10 yards a carry, giving him a lot of touches throughout the afternoon and evening. As this rush to the left side is Porter again, avoiding those 3 to 4 white jerseys and finally brought down by 3.
Porter was initially hit in the backfield, but his ability to keep his legs moving as the hits came up high really was what allowed him to gain those 6-7 yards after contact. Out of those 200 yards, I would say probably around 100 of them have been after contact.
Gain of 6 there. And a 2nd down and 4 coming up under 7 minutes. And tripped up in the backfield as they try to get a rush there. And several Stripes players get back, including Cameron Blaylock.
Zach O'Connor there was really what stopped Porter. So on that handoff, O'Connor comes through the middle and goes low and wraps Porter up by his legs. And since he went for his legs, Porter wasn't able to drag or be able to work his way through O'Connor there. So a great tackle by O'Connor, which made this a huge 3rd down.
Now the name of the game for the Stars is just to take as much time off the clock as possible. They face a 3rd down and avoids the tackle and a toss to the left side. It's a catch and did he make that catch?
Yes, he did.
Bounds. Yep.
Pass is intercepted.
That's an interception for the Stripes.
So a great job there of Oaks, again, beating the initial pressure, and he wasn't able to step up. And that's an interesting decision to throw that one into the double coverage. But what a catch. The past 2 interceptions have been highlight worthy.
Alquan Manning, the senior from Bessemer Academy, got the interception there. Of course, in double coverage. You could see the frustration there from from Clay Rebrick. First and 10 on the 26. And a carry to the right side by Chris Pittman. Gets to the 30 and out of bounds.
And right there, that was another broken down play, as I think that he was supposed to be handing it off to Marcus Taylor. But the the snap took Pittman into Taylor. So Pittman brought it down and just got whatever he could out of that, which was a good gain for about 4.
A 7-point lead for the Stars going into the final 6 minutes. And a handoff left side as the defense of the Stars says no.
Pardica, again, really tries to get on that jet sweep action, trying to get to the outside, but the Stars haven't been allowing them to get. Haven't really been able to get to him, allow him to get to the outside.
Now a 3rd down and 10 on the 26-yard line as the Stripes try to capitalize from that interception. A lot of distance to march down the field. And that one's going to be a false start.
That's going to be a false start as Pardica.
That'll move it back for a 3rd and 15.
Porter's going to have an offer with somebody. The running back. 38. The dude with 200 yards. 219.
5 minutes left on this 3rd down and 15. A toss across the middle. The catch almost made. Could have been a reception by Andrew Hillier. And just beautifully broken up.
As I think that on the breakup, that was number 12, Malachi Tate.
And the Stripes will just punt it away as this one bounces out of bounds. I don't even think it got past the 50-yard line there. Nope. Down to we'll spot it at the 40, about the 49-yard line. So now the Stars, with under 5 minutes left to go, they could try to get another score in here. Maybe test the maybe they could test the range of McClure, or they can just try to get another touchdown here to put the nail in the coffin. Special thank you to all 203 of you watching this 2020 Gatlinburg All-American Bowl for 11-man football. Be sure to subscribe to 8-Man Extreme if you're not already subscribed. Cover 8-man football in the TSIAA and other teams across the Southeast. Home for the premier coverage of 8-man football across the United States.
Number 14 to be exact.
Stars get a handoff there as Sellers goes
and that's
with the carry.
going to be a 15-yard penalty for a high hit on Sellers. As Sellers just kept it there and tried to get whatever he could. But as Sellers was going down, I couldn't catch the number, went a little high, and ended up hitting shoulder or elbow to the head of Sellers. And now they're almost in the range of McClure.
Yep. They'll have a first down and 10 on the 30-yard line with that penalty. Not only in the range of getting a field goal to make it a two-possession game, but just 30 yards out from getting another 6 points on the board. As this is a fake handoff to Porter, and a big loss on the play back to the 41-yard line as Sellers was just rushed by that defense.
As Sellers again tried to on that quarterback, that's a quarterback option that they worked on the past 2 days, and he faked the handoff to Porter, but misread the guy. He was supposed to read, so he's supposed to read that right end. So the right end stayed with Sellers, and so he's supposed to hand it off to Porter. But instead of handing off to Porter, he kept it, which resulted in the big loss of 9.
And with the second down and 19, this Stripes defense has a chance to get the ball back. But the question is, when do they use their timeouts? Unless Porter does something like that and gains back a huge amount of yards. This will bring up a 3rd down and 7 with under 3 minutes left in regulation.
That carry brings them over 230.
Brings them into field goal range.
And brings them into field goal range, which is even bigger. This is on the edge of field goal range, but you have to try it here if you don't get anything, right? Try and put the game away. The only downside is the Stripes would get the ball at the 35-yard line. But the Stripes haven't been able to move the ball in the Stars defense all game. So
yeah, they haven't gotten it past midfield whenever they've started deep in their own territory. And looks like the Stars on a 3rd down and 7. They have 3 to the left. As they they give the handoff to Porter just to run down the clock. I guess they give a little more yards to McClure, and time called as it's now going to be a 4th down and 4. So the timeout called by the Stripes with 2:05 left to go in the game. So likely McClure is going to come out to try and put the game away, but 2:05.
And they are bringing out McClure right here as he took off his toboggan and put on his helmet. So this will be about a 43-yard field goal.
I think that's one of the first times I've ever heard someone use toboggan on a sports broadcast. You can add that to the highlight reel or the demo reel whenever you start interviewing.
Guess so.
Spencer Tomset, Zachary Lone, Jack Helwig on camera, J.D. Young on stats, and James Shannon, producer and PA announcer here. With 2:05 left to go in this All-American football game for 11-man football in Sevierville, Tennessee.
McClure's going to put back on his toboggan because they decided to not go for it. McClure's not really happy about that.
I didn't know you could use toboggan twice within the span of 5 minutes. 4th down and 4.
You have to hand it off here, don't you, to Porter?
And they do. As Porter to the outside, they try to wrap him up and stop him short of the 1st down. I think they did.
What an open field tackle there by Alquan Manning.
And go ahead, Zach.
The stiff arm there from Porter has been deadly all game. He's used that stiff arm to perfection. And Alquan Manning fought through the stiff arm and got his arms around around Porter's waist and was able to bring him down 2 full yards short of that first down. So now, instead of kicking that field goal and potentially icing the game, they go for it, and it ends up costing them possibly 6 points overall because they didn't go for that field goal in the first half as well.
So now the Stripes have a chance to tie it up if they can march it down the field. They haven't been successful thus far, but can they get it done here? The catch is made by Heiler as he goes across the middle down to about the 31-yard line. And if there want any sense of urgency, they got to hurry it up unless they're going to call more timeouts.
Well, they have 2 timeouts, and they are going to get up to the line really quick. But that's a good play to start the drive. Throw it out to Heiler, let him get his yards, and then get back up to the line of scrimmage quick.
2nd down and 1. Quick toss. Jet Lodge tries to get past his defense. Weaves past the tackle, still staying on his feet, down to about the 37-yard line. Clock continues to run. They do stop it for a 1st down.
That was a good job of shaking off that big hit that Lodge did, and then Lodge was able to get the 1st down. So now this clock doesn't start until the ball is spotted. So now the clock starts. And there's some confusion going on.
Yeah, they haven't gotten the play coordinated. That's part of only having 3 practices, try and prepare for this thing. So trying to hurry up situation is where it gets difficult. 68 ticks left on the game clock going down as Trawick scrambles and he gets the toss off, and Lee stopped it out of bounds with 1:01 left to go in the game.
That was a good job of recognizing that he wasn't getting any more yards and going out of bounds to stop the clock. Because if he gets tackled in bounds there, either they have to waste their 2nd timeout, or they waste 15, 20 more seconds to get down to 40 seconds.
Make that now a 2nd and 7. It gives him a chance to breathe, at least to try and coordinate something here. 61 seconds left in the game. And Macfield tosses it before he gets tackled. Can he get it to Jet Lodge? He tried that once. Oh, my goodness, what a catch.
No, it hit the ground. Okay, if we can get a replay on that.
Oh, almost looked like it. Jet Lodge had received it there. Exactly 52 seconds left, and you look.
And what a great job.
Look, he.
Oh, I know he didn't. That ball bounced.
It bounced on the ground last second. That was a good call. That's the 2nd time. It almost looked like it could have been an interception. That's the 2nd time they've thrown a Jet Lodge when he's covered by two defensemen. So risky play as the Stars call a timeout with 52 seconds left. It's crunch time in Sevierville. 52 seconds left. .52 seconds remain in this All-American game for 11-man football. And some movement there.
And that's going to be a false start.
It's ruled encroachment on the defense. That moves up 5 yards there.
Oh, they did call it encroachment.
Yep.
Because Jet Lodge on the bottom, he actually went there at the hard count.
Does take a second off of the clock with that. And now a 3rd down and 3 as the Stripes under pressure Tries to get the pass off and incomplete. Made the catch but didn't get his feet in bounds.
That's actually better that he didn't make that completion because he would have lost a yard.
That'll bring up a team stripes. 4th down.
And this is your ball game right here. You have to get a first down, at least get 3 yards. And now you could hand it off to Jet Lodge here and try that, but the difficulty is you have to have him tiptoe the sideline, or you could get a quick pass off on the outside.
No, you can't. You can't run it here. You have to throw it. Potentially just get Jet Lodge into open space.
Here's your ball game. 4th and 3 as they toss it, and it's intercepted. It's popped up again. It's picked up by the Stripes. Can he get the first down? Not able to push the pile enough, and that's going to do it. So just a knee away, and the Stars are going to win in Gatlinburg.
And your MVP has to be Porter, doesn't it?
You would think so.
230 something, a little bit over 230 yards.
And the question is, who's the offensive and defensive MVP in your mind?
The defensive player is going to be Austin Gay, probably.
Offensive then? Because they're two separate.
That's tough.
Ones. Yeah.
You could almost give it to almost give it to Porter again, both of them. But
well, with that final knee, that is going to do it from Sevierville. The Gatlinburg All-American Bowl, 17-10. The Stars get the victory over the Stripes. Nick Schuford and Ty Colson get the victory over Coach Jim Stomps. And as we just let the clock wind down here, you can see the teams and players all shaking hands, and that is going to do it here from Sevierville area. 17-10, that's the final score here, and the Stars get the victory over the Stripes. On behalf of Zachary Lone, Jack Elwig, our statistician J.D. Young, and our producer James Shannon, I'm Spencer Thompson. This is our final broadcast of 2020. We'll be back in 2021. On behalf of everybody with the 8-Man Extreme family, again, Spencer Thompson saying Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you all, and stay safe out there.